Today, we're talking about lifeboats. Now, board games are supposed to be friendly affairs. You're supposed to have fun when you play them and everyone gets along, or you might be a little bit of, hey, you did that to me, I can't believe that. I don't know that lifeboats falls into that category. In fact, if your family is prone to argue, you may wish to avoid this game. I'll show you why.
In lifeboats, a ship has sunk, and everybody is on lifeboats. Each player has one colored lifeboat, which they will all take turns putting out people in all the lifeboats, not just their color lifeboat. Alright, so there's also a black lifeboat, which doesn't belong to any player. But players will fill the lifeboats up with different people. You don't want to put all of your people in the same boat. That's a bad tactical move. But you have sailors and you have officers. You can see here we have 2 officers, and then the rest of this boat is full of sailors. Players are given a card of every player's color. So you're going to get one of each of these plus a black card to denote each of the boats. And you also get 3 captain hats cards that are added to your hand. Now, each turn of the game progresses thus. We're going to pick one of these boats to spring a leak. After we do that, well, I'll show you before we do that. When you do that, to pick up which boat has sprung the leak, each player is going to vote. They're all going to put a card face down, turn them up. The color card that shows the most is the boat that springs the leak. If there's a tie, the player who has the start player token decides who wins the tie. In this vote, like any other vote, you can play the captain's hat card, which means you automatically win the vote, but then you don't get this card back again. You can do that 3 times per game. Unless, of course, 2 people play them, then they cancel out. So you always have to be careful for that. So let's say, in this example, the white boat has been picked to spring a leak. Now, the people on the boat itself are going to vote to see who gets thrown off. White has 1 vote because he's a sailor. Orange has 2 votes because he is an officer. Red has 1 vote. And purple has 1, 2, 3, 4 votes. So it's 4. It could be essentially 4-4, although purple has a pretty strong opinion on this boat. And you might think, well, that's, why not put all your people in the same boat? Then because if you put everyone in the same boat, everyone's going to pick that boat to get a leak, and you're going to have to throw one of your own guys overboard. So let's say after some negotiation, they all vote, and red is the one who is thrown overboard. And we put a leak in the boat to show now that this boat has 1 leak. As the game progresses, if a boat ever has more leaks than it has people on board, 3 is okay. But as soon as this guy comes off and a 4th leak comes on board, then the white boat sinks and everybody on board is dead. So after we vote for the leak and then we vote who gets thrown off, then we vote to see which boat moves forward 1 spot. Then after that, each person is going to take someone off a boat, and then they have an internal order. They get to put their guy on 1 boat that's a different boat than the boat they just took their guy off. And then we continue to another round. Leak, throw off a guy, move a boat, move people amongst the boats, leak, and so on and so forth. Eventually a boat is going to get to one of these islands down here. And on each of these islands, the people will all get off on an island. Yay, we're safe! And you'll get points. Each player gets points equal to a certain amount of points for the officer and a certain amount of points for the sailors. Once all the boats are sung or have arrived at islands, the player with the most points is the winner.
All right, lifeboats. What a game. This game was out for a long time, and finally Z-Man republished it several years ago. And I don't know how often I see this game get played, but I still bring it out every once in a while with 6 players. Mm-hmm. But before we play the game, I always say, listen, you have to take everything in this game lightly. You really do, because you will be thrown overboard. You will have people turn against you. It has to happen. Yep. There's no such thing as an unshakable alliance in this game. I can't imagine it, because there will be a point where there'll be you and your unshakable alliance partner in a boat. Someone's getting thrown overboard.
Your alliance partner is going to get the boot. Well, you are.
Yeah, in my case, it's usually me.
Yes.
And you never know who's going to win this game until the end, really. Mm-hmm. So, production quality is really high. Mm-hmm. I really like the boats and the pieces.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I mean, I don't want to overshoot it either. It is just a bunch of planks of wood with wooden pawns.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's okay, but I mean, it's not. Oh.
Well, if you're colorblind, this game's not going to do too well for you,
No.
though, because there's no way to differentiate the boats and the pawns, and they're moving around. And if there's one thing negative I would say about this game is sometimes you get between turns as you move around and say who goes here, and it can be a little wonky as all the pawns move. Okay, I get to move a pawn from this boat to this boat. Whose turn is it now to move a pawn?
Yeah. Kind of game almost stalls out a little bit, but then it picks right back up when you get into the next round.
It's vicious.
Very.
Very vicious. In fact, it's one of the most vicious games in existence. It's like diplomacy in an hour.
Not that bad.
No, it's not.
Not that bad.
I know this because I'm in the middle of online diplomacy, and
Right.
I'm seething inwardly about things that are happening to me right now.
Oh, you did it to yourself. He agreed to play diplomacy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but anyhow, this game is not like that. I love this game, and I always have a good time playing it. It's one that I will gladly bring out as long as I have the right group of people. I don't want over-analytical people. You're not welcome to play. People who get offended about pretty much anything, you are not welcome to play either.
Right.
And it might be a little too long for what it is. Maybe stretches out just a little bit longer. But you know what? It certainly is an experience that few other games are going to give you.
I think the only reason it really draws out is what you already mentioned, though. The whole choosing what boat you're going to go on.
Yeah, because each turn you get to move a pawn between boats, and that seems to slow the game down.
Yeah, it does. It slows the game down. So if you have a way to speed that process up, that'll probably fix maybe a good 20, 30 minutes of the game. So
Well, I'll give this 1.789 oars up.
1.789.
Yeah, we just came out of math midterms.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it. I would say 2.14, but I don't want to give it 2 thumbs up. I'll give it one sailor overboard.
We are the most exacting
Our
reviewers
script
in
is
the
back
world.
here, so
Oh, I was supposed to laugh
now
there.
say goodbye.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time.